Toastmaster Tom. Before you start, could you share with us a country that is close to your heart and why?
Sure, Madam Toastmaster. Just like Ray, I really have to reach deep to find which country resonates with me most. And that is Vietnam. Because that's where I'm coming, or that's where I come from. Now in Vietnam, there's a saying that says, "Uống nước nhớ nguồn." It says, when you drink the water, you gotta remember the source. So I am here today because of where I came from. Without Vietnam, without my parents, I wouldn't be here. My parents from Vietnam, I'm from Vietnam, I love Vietnam.
All the best.
Okay, there. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Now, I know that you know that I know that you know what a river is and what a reservoir is. And I still want to take one quick minute to go over what they are and the key difference between them. Because for the rest of our conversation, it hinges on this key difference. A river is a natural body of water flowing in a channel to the sea, a lake, or another stream. It is essential to the survival of many species, including our own. A reservoir is a man-made lake or a body of water that's used to store water. The difference between these two is that a river flows freely, or the water in a river flows freely. Water in a reservoir, for the most part, is held back. A river brings life to everything in its surrounding. A reservoir takes away life because it stops water from flowing. Now, it is this key difference that I want us to focus on tonight in our conversation. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, and hello to our online audience, and hello to George, our honored guest. I want you to imagine that these tables in front of you is a river. Now, for our online audience, I want you to imagine your desk that you're at, or the table that you're at as the river. Now, I want you to put both your hands onto that table. And those of you who are in the back, you can put your hands onto the chair in front of you. Now imagine yourself as a plant, a fish, a reservoir, I'm sorry, a plant, fish, a community, a human being. This river gives you life because you're tapped into it. Now, those of you who are in the back, if you're tapped into the person in front of you, you too are getting life by extension. Now, I want you to take your hands off of that table now. What's in front of you now is a reservoir. The water is held back, and you don't get access to it. If you are that plant, you may not grow as strongly as you would. Worst case scenario, you might even wither and die. And if you're a fish, a community, let's hope that you find another source of water. A river gives life, whereas a reservoir takes away life. So here's a question for all of us. In what areas of life are we a river? And in what areas of life are we a reservoir? And by areas of life, I mean our knowledge, our love, our finances, our relationships, our time. Are we someone who learn all we can all we learn, and then sit on that can? In which case, we are like a reservoir when it comes to our knowledge. Or are we somebody who learn all we can and share everything we learn with the people in our lives? Are we sharing our knowledge at work to make a difference for another colleague? Are we being intentional with our knowledge and make a difference for another human being? Are we a mentor to another person? Similarly, with our finances, are we giving a little bit of what we earn to the people downstream who can benefit a little bit or from a little bit of generosity? How about with our time, with our love, with our relationship? Are we being generous? Now, I recognize that this conversation could be a bit confronting for some of us, because in many areas, we're like a river. But in certain areas, we're like a reservoir, closed up. The intention of this conversation is to invite you to begin to have a look at those areas of life and see how we can begin to remove that dam and let the water flow freely. Choose to be a river. Choose to be generous with your love, with your time, with your money, with the people in your life. It is a choice that you can make. It's not going to be easy, for sure. It'll take some effort. And the reward is that people in your life will once again get life because you choose to be a river. Madam Toastmaster.
We now have a minute of silence.